Welcome back, everyone, and let's get to the issues of June 12. Now, the declaration of June 12 and the conferment of the GCFR award to the acclaimed winner of the 1993 June 12 presidential election has occupied the media space and formed the debate among political watchers. Some say it is a wonderful idea. Some are questioning the motive, and to others, the issue of legality is what they are bothered about. It has generated a hot debate on the floors of the National Assembly. Some lawmakers express their reservations. Listen to some of the arguments of the lawmakers. All right, we will bring you the reactions of the lawmakers. Well, you've heard a lot of talk about how some people fought for this democracy Nigeria presently enjoys, with each about 20 years old now. But when you remember the issues of June 12, it brings to mind some of these people. Joining me to put some light on the issues is a frontline fighter in the democracy struggle in Nigeria, a rights activist and a senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Femi Falana, joins us on the program tonight. Many thanks, Mr. Falana, for your time on the program.
Thank you very much.
How does the pronouncement of the president about June 12 come to you?
It was a pleasant surprise. It was most unexpected at the time it came, because President Buhari, for the past 3 years, have never had cause to refer to June 12, even in person, and therefore, it was most unexpected. However, it was a commendable effort, initiative, having regard to the fact that the monumental injustice done to Nigerians 25 years ago has been finally revisited and resolved in a way that those who plotted against the democratic wishes of Nigerians have been put to shame. We had thought that with that election that was each free, credible, and fair, that we're going to start on a clean slate, as it were. Because, don't forget, the main reason why Nigerians, the masses of our people, voted for Chief Femi Otedola en masse was because of his program, Welfare to Poverty. A fair way to poverty. And as I did say in my immediate reaction, I will expect this regime to review that program.
Fair way to poverty.
Oh yes, very important, because poverty is staring our people in the face.
Mr. Falana, if you look at the programs, I still remember some of the campaign promises and the programs of SDP at the time, and some of the campaign promises. A lot of Nigerians will say those issues are still with us.
Oh, very much with us.
That's the reason why you
and that is why the question of education for every Nigerian child has to be taken seriously. The question of affordable health for everybody through a workable, effective health insurance has to be adopted by the government, and many other welfare programs that can take our people out of the cocoon of poverty.
I've heard you, Mr. Falana, speak about these issues of June 12 and perhaps some of the demands from government from 1999 up to now. Now that something has happened, it does.
From 1993 up to now.
No, okay.
1993.
Yeah, absolutely. So for
25 years.
When this happened, for you, do you think that there are some things that have not been done aside the pronouncement of the president?
Well, I want to believe that the pronouncement is a starting point, because there are many untold stories with respect to the atrocities meted out to our people in the struggle for the validation of the June 12 mandate. For instance, nothing is said about over 200 people that were slaughtered by the Abacha junta, in the course of fighting, by the military, Babangida junta, in the course of fighting for the actualization of June 12. Those who were detained, those who were killed, even the press, newspaper houses were shut down. Punch, The Guardian, African Concord, I beg your pardon, the News magazine, Tell magazine, yeah. Tempo and the rest were prohibited. The journalists, the very courageous journalists, the very patriotic journalists publishing those outfits defied the prohibition. And they resorted to guerrilla journalism. Even among lawyers, there is a name that has not been mentioned, Mr. Buhari Bello, who was then the director of legal services of the NEC then, National Electoral Commission. When the Attorney General, then, Mr. Clement Akpango, SAN, insisted on the annulment, that he couldn't persuade the military, the members of the FRC, to have a second, a rethink on the annulment. The young man went to the AFRC meeting to address the members and to make it clear to them that the annulment will never stand in any court of law. The Honorable Justice Akambi has just passed on, was then the president of the Court of Appeal. Every effort was made to get him to compromise and get the Court of Appeal to endorse the legal ruling of the Abuja High Court that had suspended the further announcement of the result. Justice Akambi made it clear there was no way you could teleguide his colleagues who were going to sit on the panel. And that was why the military dictator, General Ibrahim Babangida, had to issue an undated statement, an unsigned statement on June 23, 1993, to the effect that was when the court was sitting, to the fact that all pending cases, in court were annulled together with the election. And that provocative press statement led us, some of us in the pro-democracy movement, and I'm talking of the campaign for democracy led by Dr. Bekor and Sam Kuti. We had to go back to the drawing table to ensure that we mobilize Nigerian people to fight the annulment. And we did.
When you say injustice meted out, as a lawyer, what would you say that the government of the day should do in this regard, as regarding the issues of annulment of June 12 and the deaths that you've talked about?
The government will have to revisit the killings that took place. We have to identify the heroes and the heroines of the June 12 struggle. But for me, the government, it's not difficult. In fact, from a number of stories which contain a lot of historical inaccuracies that one has come across since last Wednesday, I think those of us who were in the forefront of that struggle have been challenged to ensure that the authentic, the genuine story is told before long.
Would you give any credence or any commendation for the military at the time who conducted that election? Because
no,
that
election,
no, just a moment. If a lot of people would say that that's perhaps one of the freest and fairest election in Nigeria's political history, and if so, in fact, the man at the ends of affair at the time did say some people should give him credit for even conducting a fair
No, there is no way you can give any credit. If you look at the events preceding June 12, 1993, as a matter of fact, it was a compromise.